Hello Game Jammers! I hear that you are at one of the special Games for Change game jam sites, and I'm guessing one of two things is happening right now. Either you're super excited about that, or you're scared to death. Making a game in 2 days is hard enough, now you just have to save the world on top of it. But I am confident you can do it, because I'm going to share with you my 3 tips for how to make games that change the world. Tip number 1, show us the truth. Books are good at telling us things. Lectures are good at telling us things. You're not making a book or a lecture, you're making a game. Games are good at showing us things. Use your game to show us something. There are so many things that games are good at showing. They're good at showing complex systems that are hard for people to understand. They're good at showing effects on the environment. They're good at showing the way anything works. And most importantly, they're good at showing the decisions that people make, because games are truly interactive. They can give a window inside the human heart. One of my favorite examples, there was a group of students who created a game for one of my classes. It was a very simple game. Imagine an audience full of people and a big projection screen in front. And everyone in the audience gets a foam rock, a big, heavy, chunky foam rock that they hold in their lap. The experience begins, we see a little movie on the screen of a little girl, and a little girl's playing in this village, and she's approached by this giant, threatening, creepy monster. And she looks at the monster, but instead of being scared, she smiles and she gives it a little flower. And the monster smiles, and it takes the flower, and the two of them start playing together. And just then, in the back of the theater, somebody shouts, "It's a monster! Kill him!" and throws their foam chunky rock up at the screen where there's a sensor that can detect where the rocks have come, and it injures the monster on the screen. And then a few more people in the audience throw their rocks, and the monster takes more damage, and finally everyone in the audience throws their rocks, stoning the monster to death. And the game ends with the girl just sitting there and crying over the body of the dead monster. And everyone in the audience just sits there thinking, oh my God, what did I just do? What did we just do? It was a game that gave people a window into something inside themselves, a truth inside themselves. And the game didn't tell them about it, the game showed them by getting them to do it. Find ways to get your game to show people what they are and how they interact with the world. Tip number 2, be brave. Changing the world is hard. Most of the times that you're going to try it, of course, it's not going to work. And by that logic, you should probably just give up now. But what if it does work? What if you try something truly crazy and outrageous and it works and it changes the world forever? This is the time for you to be brave and to be outrageous and to be crazy. On Monday, you can go back to being your regular cowardly self, but this weekend, you should try to do the bravest, most courageous things you can, because you know what? They might work. And if you try something really brave and really bold and it doesn't work, well, other people are going to see it. And they might say, you know what? That was crazy. That was out there and it didn't work. But you know why it didn't work? And then they maybe will make something that does work. And if that happens, guess what? You just changed the world. Okay, here's tip number 3. Think one. Changing the world sounds big and it sounds impossible, especially in just 2 days when you have no idea what you're doing. And so don't think big, think small. Think as small as you can, because changing things for people doesn't involve doing great big things. It involves little things. It's the little things that make the change for people. I can show you facts and figures about starvation all over the world. I can give you pages and pages of those facts and figures, and it won't be nearly as persuasive as if I show you one picture of one starving child. As Mother Teresa once said, if I look at the mass, I never act. But if I look at the one, I will. You're going to be brave. You're going to show people things with your game. Show them the one. Because if you do that, if you show them the one thing that matters, and you make your game as small and as simple as possible, it'll be infinitely better at connecting with people than if you make something that's huge and complicated. Because if all your game does is change the mind of one person about one thing, you will have made a difference and you will have changed the world. So that's it. Those are my tips. So go, get to it, because today is the day that you make a difference.